very kindly mentioned, we'll be providing a bit of an overview of our Pacific Green Entrepreneurs Network project, and particularly on the Greenpreneurs Incubator program, which is open for applications at the moment. But we'll try to keep the presentation fairly brief so that we'll open it for questions after that. So, but if you do have questions or have any issues hearing me or anything like that, please let us know. So I'm not very good at multitasking, but I'll just try to share my screen right now. Sorry, I'll just share my screen, and I thought it might be nice to start with a little video that we put together featuring some great entrepreneurs from across the Pacific. So let me just do that and make sure I set up with sound. All right, so I hope you can see the screen. I'll just start playing and check that you can hear the sound. Just checking, can you hear that? Yes, okay, great. All right, I'll keep quiet for 2 minutes.
Green entrepreneurship is the Pacific way. It is in us to be conscious of all the social and environmental problems that our people face and being innovative in the solutions that we create tackling these problems. This isn't anything new for our islands, but it is an effort that we need more people in and also more support for. Malo apito.
Green entrepreneurship is a step into the unknown. What that means for me is this is a call to adventure.
Safeguarding nature's income-producing resources.
Do something small can create a huge impact of human sustainability, environmentally friendly, and building country's economy.
Green entrepreneurship is about passion, dedication, and commitment.
Entrepreneurship is all about ideas. It's all about passion and what you really love doing. When you start a business, you need to think about the purpose and the solutions that you want to provide to impact. So what you're gonna need to do is that, action it. That's it.
Innovative ideas to act as a solution to our environmental problems.
Green entrepreneurship to me is the ability to create or improve great and innovative ideas that has a net positive effect on the natural environment, and at the same time it is financially sustainable.
Green entrepreneurship to me is understanding what our local problems are and coming up with passion-driven ideas and solutions to help lift and rejuvenate our local communities.
Green entrepreneurship is about turning your passion into action as an entrepreneur through the creation of innovative business solutions that have a positive social and environmental impact on our communities, our future generations, and the world as a whole.
Great. So hopefully that was a nice little taste of what we're talking about with green entrepreneurship from people who can explain it much better than me. From around the Pacific. So let me just get the presentation up. Great, so thank you again for being here today. So the Pacific Green Entrepreneurs Network, and as part of that, the Pacific Greenpreneurs program is run across 6 countries, and you'll see them represented by the flags here. Obviously, Fiji is one of those countries, and that's why we're really excited to be speaking with you all today. So just, following on from that video, hopefully that helped a little bit, but I think a question that we often, I think there's often a lot of confusion about what do we mean by green entrepreneurship? What is a green entrepreneur or a green business? I think the first speaker on the video puts it quite well. I think it seems to me, although I'm not exactly a Pacific Islander, is that green entrepreneurship is the Pacific way. And a lot of businesses are actually green enterprises, even though they may not realize or recognize that they themselves are green businesses. So what is generally understood and what we at GGGI see as green entrepreneurship is basically any entrepreneur or enterprise who is purpose-driven, so is looking beyond, of course, as a business person, as an entrepreneur, you need to be seeking profit and income for yourselves, your families, and your employees. But beyond that, to be thinking about environmental and or social issues. So addressing some challenge that might be in your community, or either by, perhaps it might be by employing people in your community who might otherwise not have access to certain things, or it could be by contributing some of your profits back into communities in some form, for some sort of social benefit or environmental improvements, for example, mangrove planting and that kind of thing. Or it could be, through the kind of business that you actually are running and the types of products that you have or services that you have out there in the market. For example, we see lots of businesses, and we're seeing a lot of great ideas coming from the Pacific, particularly as things like that's helped along by policymaking. So as plastic bags are being phased out, so what about renewable alternatives to those bags, and other such things which are promoting good environmental habits, and basically to promote a better a future for our planet and our people and the next generation in particular. So hopefully that sort of helps a little bit. I mean, in terms of, I think green businesses can be found in any sector. You could be, an agribusiness, you could be a tourism operator, you could be handicrafts maker, you could be, so many things could be green. It depends on your sort of, your reason for being and how you carry out your business, as well as what you actually do with your business, I suppose. I hope that helps. So just to set out briefly on the Pacific Green Entrepreneurs Network, or PGEN, as we tend to go by their short acronym. There's three main components of the program that we're running. So it's a 3-year program, and it's funded by the Qatar Fund for Development, who's providing a lot of support these days in small island developing states, particularly in ways to combat climate change and to build what we call green jobs through supporting entrepreneurship. So we're really looking at GGGI and with our donor to be able to support small businesses in the region, because we think people in the region have fantastic ideas and often just lack some constraints, either in terms of finances or some training and other support that can really help them to develop and grow further as businesses. And in doing so, as they grow, then they're able to employ more people in an inclusive way. So this is why we as GGGI and our donor, we are really wanting to work with green entrepreneurs in the region. So the three elements of the program, as you can see here, are the Incubator program and the Accelerator program, which we both call the Pacific Greenpreneurs programs, and the Entrepreneurship Ecosystem. And I'll just mention a bit more about each of those. So starting with the last one, the Entrepreneurship Ecosystem. So this is, it's a bit of jargon, but so you can see on the screen, these are the 6 countries, again, that we are working in. And we think there's already been some great work by what we call business support organizations, training providers in each of those countries, in some countries more than others. Like I think Fiji Commerce and Employers Federation in Fiji does an excellent job. And we're looking to build on the work that's already existing in this space to provide platforms for people to network within countries, but also across the countries as well, and share knowledge, because there's often similar businesses and similar challenges faced by the businesses in each of the countries, and sharing that information can be beneficial. The Accelerator program is something that we are planning to launch next year, probably around about mid next year. So watch this space. With this program, we're looking to target a fairly small number of what we call growth stage green enterprises who are already fairly well established, but are businesses who are looking for a larger amount of financial funding to be able to scale their business quickly and take them to the kind of the next level of growth. So that in particular, as mentioned, we have a focus on green jobs, and in particularly on inclusive green jobs, so jobs for women and youth in particular. And we're looking at supporting businesses who are likely to grow there through funding. We'll be able to grow the jobs that people that they'll be able to employ in these countries. So under this program, we will have a small training component, and there will be some networking and pitch events, as well as a local mentorship component. But we'll be probably the main focus would be on providing repayable grants of up to 50,000. This is in US dollars. So we're looking at a small number of businesses across the region, but we're looking to provide quite a substantial amount of funding to help them grow. So that would be no interest loans, basically, for the accelerator program. So keep an eye out for that if you think that you might be eligible in a larger, more established business. The Incubator program is the first program that we're going to launch, and that's the one that we've currently got open for applications at the moment, both for enterprises as applicants and participants in the program, as well as mentors as well. So in this program, we're looking to support across the 3 years. We'll be running this program annually, and so this being the first year. Across 3 years, we're looking to support around 360 entrepreneurs across the 6 countries. So that's quite a ambitious number of businesses or number of entrepreneurs that we're looking to support. People can apply either as individuals or teams, and we encourage teams to apply, and all the teams being perhaps co-funders or partners in the business would all be welcome to join the training. So there'll be a structured training program. It says blended training here, although unfortunately because of the COVID situation in Fiji, for this year in Fiji, it will be virtual for obvious reasons. So we'll be running the training via webinars. There'll be weekly webinars and weekly activities that will need to be submitted online, just to make sure that you're able to sort of tailor and adapt the content that's been taught. We're using, some of you may be familiar with the Lean Startup Canvas, and so throughout this training program, we'll be developing a Lean Startup Canvas and a few other sort of accompanying documents, like a financial modeling and social impact modeling for your business. There will be a mentorship component to the program as well, which, as I mentioned, we're open for recruitment at the moment. And so the mentors will be there to help advise and guide you through the process as an applicant. And it will culminate. So the training will be we're planning to start the training in October, and we'll run that to December. And then in January, because of the Christmas break, we'll have a bit of a delay. In January, we'll be asking the teams to submit, or enterprises to submit their business pitches or business plans. So it would be that what you've developed through the training program, those few things that I've mentioned, and like a video of you presenting that. So the winning teams or enterprises, you don't have to be a team, will be judging the same criteria whether you're an individual or a team. Will be awarded $5,000 US, so approximately 10,000 Fiji dollars in seed grant funding. So when we say seed grants, we just mean we'll give you grant funds of $5,000 US for the purpose of implementing your business plans. We'll be providing, that'll be non-repayable, so it's just we'll give it to you, and it'll be awarded to you probably late January. I'm thinking would be the competition timeline. At the moment, we still have to finalize that, so it would be soon after that the funding would be provided, but further details can be given later. So I think I might have already mentioned these. So we'll be having weekly webinars and training. There'll be weekly small assignments, and there'll be some mentoring sessions for you to organize with mentors and mentees to mutually organize. And there'll be some access to coaching on certain specific topics if you need, particularly in developing your business plan as well. So now I'm just going to move on to more information on the incubator applications and the mentor applications. So this is just a little bit more, to say, the kind of people we're looking for. So we're saying early stage green enterprises. So meaning that you're sort of in the probably we're not having a strict timeline on how long you've been in business, but typically you might be in the first couple of years of your business, or where you've got you've developed more than just an idea. You're already selling something in the market or to friends, or might be at a small scale, or it might be yourself to be at the fairly early stage of your enterprise. We're looking for people who are very passionate about their about addressing impact, and enthusiastic about training and learning, sharing your ideas and story with participants, and yeah, to be able to take to grow to the next level. I think one thing I also didn't mention yet was to say, as we're a regional program, so the good thing, well, I think it will be a good thing, it'll be virtual webinars, but you'll be also joined by people from the other countries as well. So there'll be, ability to network there and learn from other people's ideas. So in terms of how to apply, the application window is open. It's until the 31st of August. So there's still a bit of time, not too much. So don't wait too long if you're thinking about it. But there's still certainly some time to apply. In terms of eligibility criteria, there's only a few that we've sort of strictly kind of said. We want you to be able to show us that you are, we need the lead applicant. So in case you are either as an individual yourself, or if you are a team, for the lead applicant to be a citizen of one of the 6 countries mentioned, and operating a business in one of these countries. So if you're Fijian operating a business in Fiji, then that would be the most straightforward, but you could easily be some other combination or have partnership, that kind of thing. We're looking for people over the age of 18, and we're encouraging women and youth to apply, but with no strict criteria beyond being 18 and over. We do want you to be for profit. And the reason for that being, our training is really designed to help businesses in their financial modeling and developing the business skills for success. So that's why we're not saying, some people are asking about non-profits. Can non-profits apply? We're saying only if the non-profits have an arm of have an enterprise arm. So some non-profits might have like a social enterprise side where they're selling things and operating as a business, even if it's not formally a business, but we want that business focus. And same, we also want you to be able to demonstrate to us a green focus in the business, and what you green as in social or environmental impact, or both. There's a lot more about the selection criteria. So what will happen is, the eligibility criteria is sort of like the minimum, and then the next process would be that we have a selection panel of people who will score and rank all the eligible applications based on the assessment criteria. So we have sort of outlined those broad criteria on the website and application guidelines. But yeah, it's generally about showing us your who you are. We want to sort of get a picture of genuinely who you are. Your passion, your business, your vision for your business, how the potential for green growth and impact, and that kind of thing. So we're looking to notify the successful applicants by the end of September. It probably would be a bit earlier than that, but somewhere between mid to end of September would be notifying people. And how to apply? All the applications need to come through our well, the website has all the application links. So there's a Google form for the Incubator program applications, and there's also a separate one for the mentor applications, which I'll talk about shortly. Okay, so the mentorship program, so similar to the Incubator program, we're looking for some really passionate, driven individuals who themselves are either, you know, people who've had experience as entrepreneurs in the region, you know, ideally in the same countries, who will be pairing up with the successful applicants for the program. So we are looking for people who are, really passionate about helping the next generation of people to grow and thrive and learn and share their knowledge, but also learn and are willing to learn from the participants and their mentees as well. I think it's a successful mentorship program is a win-win for both in terms of learning like that. We think that this is, for us, mentorship is a really important aspect of the program, having someone to, a listening ear or a sounding board, and someone to give a bit of advice. So we're very much, we see these mentors as a very important aspect of the program. It's a voluntary commitment, and I'll sort of mention a bit more about that in the next slide. So the same thing, the application window is open till the end of August currently. And so it is a voluntary role, as I mentioned, so we're not providing financial compensation, but we do feel like there is a lot that mentors will be learning along the way. They'll be welcome to join all of our training sessions, so they'll be accessing the online webinars and things if they want to. They don't have to. They are also going to be given the chance for networking opportunities to grow their connections and networks across the region. We're also looking to, if they're willing, to help boost the visibility of their businesses as well, in ways that we can do in social media and other avenues. And we're saying at the moment it's not we're hoping it's not too much of a time commitment. We're saying a minimum of three sessions with mentees is what we'd like people to commit to as a mentor. So on average, if that's an hour and a half a session, then that would be about 4.5 hours. Of course, we would hope that this would continue, and as relationships build, mentors and mentees will mutually want to keep that going. But we are leaving that up to the individuals. So maybe that's just a bit around that. I realize I should also mention, I haven't mentioned so far, is that our training program for the incubation program is based on a globally recognized program out of the Global Green Growth Institute headquarters, developed with a couple of our partner organizations, which has been running very successfully for the past, this is the 4th year currently that it's been running. So we have developed, we feel like we've developed some really good practices or best practices, and what we're currently in the process of doing is tailoring that material so it's relevant for the Pacific and adding some additional useful content. So both for the mentors and for the incubator participants, we feel that this should be a great opportunity to learn from a global best practices, as well as regional practices, from sharing information with each other and sort of figuring out the implications on the local level. So as mentioned, what we'll do with the assessment for mentors is we will, I think our minimum criteria is we're looking for people 21 years and above, so you have a little bit of business experience, and either as entrepreneurs yourselves, or if you have a specific expertise in certain fields. It could be that you're a subject matter expert in, for example, accounting or human resources or something like that, in the likely the private sector, but we're not making that mandatory. And we'll be trying to match people based on their experience and sectors. So same as the incubator program, the application will be done via Google form, and all the details can be found on our Pacific Greenpreneurs website. And I'll just leave you with this. I think I've mentioned a few of the timelines already. So the Incubator the Incubator applications are open for participants and mentors currently until early next week on the 31st of August. In September, we'll be doing the selection process for both, and then we'll be informing people before the end of September. We plan to kick off the training in October, and that will be the virtual training and mentorship would begin, which will run until early December before we run up into that busy period over Christmas. And then we'll be giving, so basically we'll have about a month allowed for people to then, enterprises to then be working on their business plans for the competition between mid-December and mid-January. And around about in the second half of January, we'll figure out the timelines in more detail as we go ahead. But we'll be running the business pitch competition, and we'll plan to announce the winners of that competition by the end of January. And with that, I'll just hand over to my colleague Rishika, who'll take us through some frequently asked questions. But I think just before that, I should also mention that, as I think I said before, this is an annual program. So we'll be running the first of these programs in October as shown on this timeline, and we'll be planning to run the next incubator program probably sometime around mid next year. So we certainly do encourage you to apply for this program, but if you feel like perhaps you're not quite ready or timing isn't right for you, also please do keep a lookout for it next year if you think that would be more appropriate. And I'll hand over to my colleague Rishika.
Thank you, Esther. Bula Vinaka, ladies. So I would be taking you through some of the frequently asked questions. So as we see on the screen, so this is one of the questions a number of people have asked us: how do I know if I am doing a green business? So as explained earlier by my colleague Esther, a green business focuses on addressing environmental and or social issues through their business while generating profit. So moving on, what is an early stage business? So when we're looking at an early stage business, it's basically the beginning of a phase in which the idea evolves until it becomes a product or service into the market. And this can be characterized by activities such as problem identification, solution development, market research, and even product business development. So this could be if you're selling something on a very small scale, even selling to families or your friends. You know how we often have many pages on social media these days, especially given this pandemic. And you could also be selling in local flea markets like the Rock Market or any other flea markets. And I must say that you do not have to be formally registered as a business to apply, and you don't really need a business premises to be. So moving on, let's look at, can non-profit businesses apply? Well, not unless your NGO has or is established for a for-profit social enterprise. And the focus of our program is on building business sustainability through promoting business acumen so that innovative green ideas can grow and more like be implemented in countries and regions. So there is definitely an important role that NGOs and cooperatives plan in addressing environmental issues. However, this program focuses on building green jobs and green economic growth. So now we look at on how can you access the grant funding. So the seed grant funding we're providing is currently limited to seed funding awarded to winners of our business pitch competition through the Incubator program. And this grant funding for the business is not repayable. So you would not have to actually repay this. And in terms of the pitch competition, so the final pitch competition involves participants putting together their business plans and pitches. And it includes it has three components. So the first one is the lean canvas. And this would contain all core information about the business model on a single sheet. And then we have a video pitch and slide deck. This is how the teams communicate their vision, their unique value, and feasibility in a compelling way. And the third one is the financial and impact forecast, which includes a theory of change. So this allows participants to provide a more detailed information about the sustainability of their model and also the impact that they would like to create from their business. So the competition serves to demonstrate the entrepreneurs or teams' growth throughout the program, and it gives them the opportunity to compete for the seed funding. And we also, as Esther had mentioned earlier, we are also going to be having offering accelerator programs, which will offer repayable grants at a low interest rate. So moving on how we've had questions, a number of people asked this as well, on how will we ensure the privacy of your data and protection of the business idea that you share with us through your applications. So at GGGI, we are committed to ensuring that we keep your data very secure. The applicant's data will only be made available to a handful of people who would be on our selection panel. And they're all bonded by GGGI's rules on protection of personal data. So basically, we're not allowed to actually use or provide the data that you've provided to us to anyone else. And also, I must mention, the staff will have to declare any potential conflict of interest so that we are maintaining transparency in this process as well. So now we look at the mentors. So what's in it for the mentors? So being a mentor for our mentorship program, well, this would be you providing a voluntary commitment. So you would not be provided any financial remuneration for this. And but I mean, there are many other things you would be rewarded, such as you would get the experience of journeying alongside green entrepreneurs and supporting them to thrive as well. You'd be given the opportunity to build relationships with like-minded budding and established entrepreneurs throughout the program and through access to national and regional networking opportunities as well. And this would provide you the opportunity to expand your horizons through knowledge sharing and being open to new ideas. Also, you would be able to develop your skills and experience as part of a globally recognized entrepreneurship program. As Esther mentioned earlier, that this is being implemented in 6 countries. So you would basically also get to increase a lot of visibility of your business, not only here in Fiji, but across the Pacific region as well. So now let's look at briefly at our website. So here you can see on the screen is a brief navigation of how you can find the links to apply on our website. And then you can find more information about our program and also the details on how to apply to our incubator and mentorship programs. And the applications for both these forms are online. And we have also included a very detailed guideline, which provides thorough information on how to actually apply. And we've also uploaded a copy of the form separately as well, just to serve as a guide so that you can have a look at what are you actually going to expect in the questions that you're going to expect in the form. And in case if you still have questions after referring to the guidelines and we've even posted the frequently asked questions on the website, please do feel free to contact Esther and myself. We would be providing our email addresses to you in the chat shortly as well. And so in case if you feel you have further questions, you may ask your questions right after this, and we'll be very happy to provide you the detailed information that you're after. So that was some of the information Esther and I had to share with you all. And with that, we would like to open up for some of your questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Roshika. that was really good. And ladies, I'm now, just before I open the question and answer session, I'd like us to take a quick group photo. And if you can all turn on your videos and come right up to the screen, we'll just take a quick group photo and then we'll proceed to the question and answer session. Okay, I'll just give a minute. It's just a bit of traffic on the internet, and ladies, if you can turn on your video, we'll just take a quick group photo. Okay. Okay, on 3, 1, 2, 3. Great, thank you. Okay, questions. I see that Cynthia has raised her hand. So if you want to ask a question, please use the raise your hand button, a feature, or put it on your chat and we'll ask your question. So go ahead, Cynthia, you can ask your question.
Can you hear me? Good morning.
Morning, Cynthia.
Can you hear me? Okay. Good morning, Esther and Rashika and everybody. I think most of you are my classmates in AWE. So I wanted to ask if AWE is allowed, because our lesson, I think, will end in another 7 weeks. Is it, Fiona?
AWE program will end. AWE program will end in December, and
so are we allowed to join even if we are still with all?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. You're allowed to do that, and also because we have 2 classes per month, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't stop you from applying anywhere else.
Okay, and my main question is, I believe that I'm a green entrepreneur because I'm doing digital business. So there's no pollution of the environment, no wastage of printing paper. Everything is online. So my business is website, logo, graphic design, fashion design, video ads. But my dream really is to continue my fashion design. And I would like to make breastfeeding dresses. Actually, I've done it already, but I'm still in the sample phase. And these are breastfeeding dresses that has slits for easy access of breastfeed that can also be used by breast cancer patients. So I've got my samples and dresses ready. But am I gonna be allowed? Because my advertising, my website logo advertising business has been running for more than 2 years. But the dream that is really gonna change the world is the breastfeeding dresses that are fashionable, comfortable, stretchable fabric that will always make a woman beautiful. Never mind they sleep with it, or they go to cancer treatment with it, or they go to church breastfeeding their kids, or attending meetings with it, because all of that happened to me. So I was thinking, I'm not the only breastfeeding mother who goes and attends meetings in front of men, and I realized that if every woman in the Pacific would have proper clothing that makes them look presentable, and never mind they sleep with it, it still stretches. So I want to know, am I going to be allowed to join?
Yeah, thanks very much for the question, Cynthia. I think that's I love your passion. I think that's fantastic, and I love that idea that's going to change the world. Yes, absolutely. I see there's so much social potential for social impact with your idea. So yes, I mean, we're not saying any hard and fast rule about whether you are, in business for less than 2 years or more. It's just an idea that we're looking for typically early stage business. But I think it's certainly from what you've explained, like this is something new for you, and it's really just because that's kind of the training material that we have is more geared towards supporting developing new business plans. So I think that potentially I do hope that our program could support you and people like you in this stage of your business. So yes, please do apply.
And one more thing, like all the financials will be gathered from the advertising business. So I'm doing fashion design, which is part of my business now, but I haven't really sold any dresses. So is that okay that all financial support documents will just be on the advertising business?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think if you could there should be a spot on the application where you sort of can put other general comments. If you can maybe just provide the information based on your business as it is, and then maybe make a note in the comments so that we're just aware. That would be great.
Thank you very much for giving my dream a hope. Thank you.
Ladies, any questions? Any question? Okay, Mele. Go ahead, Mele.
Thank you, Fiona. Sorry, I wanted to ask Esther and Roshika. I noticed in the application in the website, like in order to go ahead with application, you're supposed to upload a CV. I wanted to ask for those of us that haven't had experience, work experience, or what do you say? How everyone has a really neat CV and all that. Does it really have to be? Will it be based on that too? Or?
Thank you, Millie. That's a great question, and it's a good point. We haven't got any requirements on the formatting of your CV. I think for us, it was just to get to know you a little bit more, because a lot of the questions that we're asking in the application form is about, your business and your ideas. And so this was just to kind of get a flavor of who you are, your experience. It doesn't have to be experience with entrepreneurship necessarily. It could just be your, what have you studied previously, and what's your focus area from your studies, and that kind of thing. So it's something that we'll review, and yeah, it is mandatory that we're asking you to upload something, but it's not like a major portion of the criteria or anything that we're selecting people on. I hope that helps. But yeah, please don't be put off by that. Upload something that just tells us a bit of who you are. That's what I'd say.
Thank you.
Any more questions, ladies? Okay, Cynthia, I will give you, if you can just keep it to a minimum time. We have only 10 more minutes. Thank you.
I would like to know, I've got some ladies who's not very good in English and typing their business plan. Is it possible for me to help them? But I'll use their email and everything. But they've got very good business plan, but they just don't know how to type in English or express themselves.
Sure, thank you. That's a really good question, and appreciate that you're looking out for other people. Yes, absolutely. There's no problem with that from our side, and thank you. That would be helpful. I know that is one issue with us being a regional program, is that we can't take. Unfortunately, we will be delivering the program in English. We won't be able to do local language for each of the countries. But as long as they're happy to join webinars and join webinars in English and participate in English, that's completely fine with the applications.
Yeah, they're just poor in writing, but they can talk. Okay, thank you.
We have a question on the chat box. Hi, Esther. I just started my business this year around March. I have a manicure and pedicure business. Any question? My question is, what are my clean energy choices?
That's a good question. I'm not sure I can answer that directly right now. I think in terms of but you're asking the kind of, this is the right kind of question that we like people to ask. We will be, as part of the training program, so it'll be mostly around the lean startup methodology, but we will be providing some inputs on key sustainability principles in the Pacific, which will touch on things like that. I'm not sure exactly about energy choices here. I mean, beyond having a solar panel for your business, and I don't know if that's feasible or not, to be honest. But like other tips around energy use or disposing of potential like chemicals perhaps in your business and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm not sure that fully answers the question, but that's yeah, maybe that'll have to do for right now. I don't know if Rushika might have anything to add to that, so please unmute as well.
Thanks, Esther. I think you answered her question. We have, just before we go to Millie, we have another question on chat. My business revolves around mainly on community rural women, and everything that I applied involves them. Will that be possible? I think she's asking. I think Serway, are you asking if will that be possible in terms of them applying, or you applying on their behalf, or applying as a group? Esther, can they apply as a group, or do they have to apply individually?
Sure. So we're asking people to apply as an enterprise. So when we say enterprise, we mean like a business or whatever. So if it's one group who are running together, you're jointly running a business together, yes, please do apply as a team. And Sarah, you could be the lead applicant, and also include, we're allowing up to 5 people to join the trainings. There could certainly be more people in your business, but just to manage numbers, we're saying up to 5 people per team to participate in the trainings. If you're separate businesses, then we would encourage you to apply separately, because you'll be looking at your own business plan, and you'll be developing your business plan through the training. So they could certainly apply as well, as long as they all meet the criteria that they are eligible. Then it depends on how your business is set up. I hope that helps.
Thank you, Esther. I hope that answers your question, Seru. We have Millie all the way from Singatoka. Millie, go right ahead. You can ask your question.
Bula, Esther and Rushika. Thank you, Fee. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. Just my question. I have an event company, Esther and Rushika, and I've also started like community work through my small business, and like community outreach. Do I need to register that as an NGO, or I just work, like I just use my workers and we do community work mainly on rural empowerment, rural women empowerment, and climate change. Those are 2 important topics that we cover with my workmates, with my workers, and we do community work through my business. Do I need to register as an NGO, or I'm okay as that to apply through that? That's my question. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Millie. So I think if I understand you correct, I'm just going to rephrase just to make sure I understand you correctly. You're saying you have a for-profit business that you are running, but as part of that, you and your workers do some community and environment type work as well to support. I think that's that's definitely along the lines of what we're looking for. So for us, we're not saying that you need to apply as an NGO. I mean, there might be other reasons that you may want to become an NGO, but in terms of applying for our program, no, please go ahead and apply.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd
Thank you.
love to consider
Thank
your application.
Thank you. Naka.
Any other question? Any other burning question, ladies? Still have a couple of minutes. Also, Esther and Rashika will have their emails on at the bottom of the screen. On the chat. We'll have the emails on chat, and also Rashika will resend the link for everyone to read about applying for the program. It'll be on chat, and also there's an evaluation form that I will be providing. There's an evaluation form that I'll be providing. On the evaluation form, please indicate if you have other questions, or if you want to receive updates from Green Entrepreneurs, please do so. Any other questions, ladies? Okay, I have a question on chat from Silvana. What is my return on investment? I think that's one of the questions that's in the application form.
No, I don't believe we need any information on that. I apologize if I've got that wrong. Return on investment is certainly an important calculation for financial, developing financial models, but we're not expecting that people need to provide that information for the incubator application.
Right. Okay. Thanks. Thank you, Esther. So Silvana, yes, okay. Yeah, thank you. She's got the answer. Yeah, so Rashika's email is on the chat, and Rashika and Esther's emails are on the chat. Please note that down. And also, I'm going to put the evaluation form now, and if you can all complete it. There's also, Rashika is also listed down the website for application for participants, and also if you are keen to be part of the mentor the applicants, there's also the link there to apply. So both application will close next week Tuesday. This will give you time to apply. So please complete that online form. We have another question. I think that this will be our last question for the day. I run a grocery store and a water blasting business. Am I still able to qualify for that?
Hi, Ofa. Thanks for the question. I think it's completely up to you. You're welcome to apply. What we do want to see from your application is how do you feel like you are making a positive impact or through your business on the social impact on your community, or environmental impact, or both. So if you are through your business that you've mentioned, your 2 businesses, you feel like you're doing that, then please do that and make sure you demonstrate that to us in the application. Yeah, I hope that helps.
Oh, yes, it helps. She says thank you. Thank you, Ofa. So the last question, someone has raised their hand. Lamba, please unmute. Okay, great. Go ahead, Lamba. No, sorry, you have to unmute. Go ahead.
So, with the Tuesday, the due date, any time on Tuesday?
Sure, good question. Midnight Fiji time.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, well, I guess technically 11:59, so end of Tuesday.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Lamba, for your question. Now, ladies, we've come to an end of the program. Can we ask Mele to move the vote of thanks?
Hello, everybody. My name is Mele, if you don't already know. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you, Esther and Roshika, for taking your time out of your busy schedule to have this information session with us. Thank you very much. It has been really, been informative, and I'm sure you've cleared up everything for us, answering all the questions that might have been holding us back from applying. I know for a fact Saruaya and her ladies are already ready to apply, and I hope most of us here, all the Women Entrepreneurs Business Council and participants of the AWE would grab a hold of this opportunity. Thank you, GGI, for the providing the program for us. And yes, we thank you, Esther and Roshika, and we wish you all the best. Winaka.